According to Metacomputics model, all creations, including individual entities, are processing output of Metacomputation system. In this part of the presentation, we will discuss the fundamental nature of individual entity, individual mind, individual perception, and experience under the proposed Metacomputics framework. We will attempt to clarify the following questions. What is language? What is an entity? What is an individual mind? What's the relationship between source mind and individual mind? How does an individual mind experience thoughts, feelings, emotions, and sensations? What determines the regularities or laws of nature observed in the universe? What is relativity of reality? Program is identified by giving a name to it. Specific words are intended to name specific programs. The true meaning of a word is the perception experienced from executing the program. For example, space is perceived by running program space. Redness is perceived when program red is executed. Apple identifies a program that enables the concept appleness to be perceived. The meaning of number, for example 2, is perceived when a successor program is executed with 1 as the initial state. Mass is a program that defines the inertia of an object to change its state of motion in space. Force is a program that defines the cause for an object to change its state of motion in space. Heat is a program that defines the dynamic property of a system. Energy is a program that defines the capacity of a system to do work. Other programs include the descriptive terms used in human languages. These programs allow the human mind to experience a wide range of thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations, actions, and interactions. The evolution of human civilization is marked by a progression of programs. The creation of each new word corresponds to the availability of a new program to the society where the word is used. Programs are stored in the memory of Metacomputation system and can be identified and retrieved through the use of language. Entity is a being with both subjective and objective aspects. For instance, a human being is an entity having both a mind, the subjective aspect, and a body, the objective aspect. The objective aspect of an entity is the processing output of Metacomputation system displayed in space as a 3D image named entity image, EI. Entities can only be perceived as meaningful forms when the dataset of an entity is processed by the programs in Metacomputation system. A physical entity exists at every other level of creation and is perceived as different EIs at the different levels of creation. With an increasing n value, more powerful processes become available. The dataset of an entity as well as programs available increase in size and complexity. With more complex data and programs that give property to EIs such as mass, solidity, transparency, color, texture, richer features of the EI can be perceived. We have established that the memory of the MS at level n equals 4 to the n. As a computation system with finite memory, its processing output cannot increase indefinitely. This leads to a logical conclusion that entities have to go through a life cycle and have limited lifespan. All entities run program, lifecycle, that progresses them through the stages of inception, expansion, deterioration, and termination in time. Assuming that, at a given level of creation, an entity image EI has a lifespan determined by a fixed number of processing cycles from its inception to termination. As each level of creation is constructed by computation at different clock speeds, each EI's lifespan at a different level of creation will be different for a given entity. For instance, for a given entity, if the lifespan of its EI at the physical level, LP equals K PMP, then the lifespan of its EI at level M, LM, equals K times 2 to the M PMP. The entity thus experiences 2 to the M times as long a lifespan with its EI at level M compared to its EI at the physical level. For a given entity, its EI's lifespan at a different level of creation can be illustrated as a hierarchy, shown in the example in the figure, where LP is the lifespan of the EI at the physical level. LP minus 2 is the lifespan of the EI at 2 levels above the physical level, and LP minus 4 levels above the physical level. With a descending level of creation, multiple EIs with shorter lifespans exist consecutively in time. The lifespan of its higher EI is the sum of all the lifespans of its lower EIs. Many EIs at a lower level of creation can correspond to one EI at a higher level of creation. Mind is the subjective aspect of entity. Mind is a partition of source mind. The partitioning is a processing output of Metacomputation system achieved by running program individuality, or I, or self. This program produces a sense of I, or self, and identifies itself with an individual EI. As a partition of source mind, mind shares the same qualities and traits as source mind. Metaphorically, it can be likened to the fact that every droplet of water in the ocean has the same wetness as the ocean. Therefore, mind has the power and capability of conception, perception, and self-awareness. Mind also has access to the 3 faculties of Metacomputation system: data, program, and processor. As each individual EI is normally localized at a specific level of creation and specific space and time, mind has limited access to data, program, and computing capability. Each individual human mind perceives an individual world that is a processing output determined by its access to data and programs. On our planet, there are approximately 7 billion worlds perceived by 7 billion human minds. 2 individual worlds can only be identical if the 2 individual human minds process the same data with the same programs. As one aspect of entity, each mind is further partitioned into many lower minds at the subsequent level of creation. Mind and its subsequent lower minds computes using different metacomputation systems operating at different clock speeds. Each mind is also a partition of its higher mind. The content of a human mind is the processing output of the MS displayed in space and in the body. Space is used as a display onto which the EI's visual output is projected. The brain is used as a display onto which thoughts, feelings, and emotions are projected as complex electrical and chemical signal patterns. The physical body is used as a display onto which bodily sensations and actions are projected. The development of the human body, including the brain, is a process of upgrading the display so that it can display the output of MS from accessing increasing amounts of data and running an increasing number of programs with increasing complexity. This allows for the expansion of life experiences of the human mind. A human mind can conceive a virtual world by programming a physical computer and perceives the processing output displayed on the screen. Likewise, higher mind can conceive space and the physical world by programming an MS at a higher level creation. From the perspective of the higher mind, the physical level existence is the processing output of the MS and therefore is a processed existence. From the perspective of human mind, the physical level existence is an objective existence. Unprocessed existence is 3D pixel barcode arranged in specific configurations and patterns in space as an output of MS. It can be said that pixels are the building blocks of matter in the physical universe. When a human mind processes program space, a 3D grid with regularly arranged alternating pixels and voids are projected. These are programmed to be transparent, so space is perceived as empty. When a human perceives an object in space, for example an apple, the 3D pixel barcode dataset is scanned by the eyes to trigger the execution of program apple. This produces a template appleness, followed by adding more details and properties such as space, color, and texture in the brain. An apple EI defined by the dataset is then projected onto a specific location in space, is perceived by the human mind. Programs such as mass and gravity ensure that the apple EI falls to the ground when it is detached from the tree branch. Programs such as solidity and rigidity ensure that the apple EI stays on top of the surface of the ground and doesn't go through the earth EI. Therefore, our perceived existence is a processed existence. The proposed MS model predicts that the fundamental building blocks of the physical universe is pixel. Experiments need to be carried out to verify its existence. Further research is also needed to discover programs that compute not only EI's geometric properties, but also physical properties such as transparency, solidity, rigidity, color, etc. Laws of nature governing the behaviors of physical objects and their interactions, involving mass, energy, force, gravity, field, electromagnetism, mechanics, heat, etc., should be determined. Other challenging tasks include the discovery of programs that can compute the full range of human experiences, including thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, and actions. Ultimately, we will be able to rewrite every word and sentence in human language with codes. According to the proposed Metacomputics framework, Source Mind creates and sustains the operation of Metacomputation system, MS. MS contains three faculties: data, program, and processor. MS operates at the clock speed of 2 to the n-1 cycle per unit and has a memory of 4 to the n bits. Creation is the processing output of MS. Multiple universes can be created by MS operating at different n value. Programs determine the properties of all existence, including time, space, all its contents and regularities in their interaction. Programs also give rise to subjective experiences, thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, and actions. Language is verbal expression of names of programs. Thank you for your attention. For more information, please visit www.metacomputics.com.